Howdy folks, I am Casey LaCourse and welcome to another showcase of Hearts of the West. It's cowboy poetry, western storytelling, and I have country, and sometimes I bring in my friends from Australia that are country. So sit back and enjoy this. Now today we have a lot going on. I have got to announce a week late, but it's the drawing for this fabulous book, Four Aces and a Queen, by 5 of extremely talented and award-winning poets, all of them. So, and it is autographed. So, let's just get right to it and see who the winner is going to be for this. I do have a hat with all the names in it. There it is. Okay. Okay, we have, it is Luann Wagner. She is a local teacher here in Las Vegas, a history teacher, and I'm real glad she won this. She is going to be thrilled because she takes snippets of of the showcase and the performers, and she shares them with her history class. And the most recent one she shared was Peggy Malone's, and then there were none poem. So, Luann, you're going to be thrilled. I'll message you, hon, and you can give me your correct address. And congratulations on winning this fabulous book. You're going to love it, okay? All right, folks, thank you. Let's get to it. Now, I'm going to start off with one of my own poems. And the inspiration for this poem was 2 people that I met in Elko. I think it was 2016. And I had no idea who they were or how incredibly well-known they were. And they were the nicest people, the absolutely nicest people I have ever met. I didn't know either one of them. They came right up and introduced themselves and started talking to me. And I was just a nobody trying to do an open mic. And I latched onto them, and I'm not letting go. They're 2 of the nicest people, and I wrote a poem for them, and it's titled The Tribute by Casey LaCourse. Long ago, on dusty trails, in the dark of night, coyotes wail. Cowboys, round the campfire light, spin their tales of poetry told in rhyme, a legacy handed down to us through time. Now, what inspires me tonight to stand on stage and recite is Western poetry performed just right. 2 poets come to mind. One of the best is the past Colorado WMA president, Floyd Beard, on center stage. His mind is the voice, his pen the page. He creates magic when reciting a classic with a distinctive tone. His emotions become words when reciting a poem. Next up, Valerie, his wife, recites about choices in living no better life. Her honesty and love of subject ring true. My admiration quickly grew. On their website is posted a year, their itinerary. Through rain, sleet, or snow, the Beards, like the mail, deliver continually. The list of dates, time, and where are really too many to declare. Suffice to say, they're everywhere, reciting songs and poetry to keep hearts alive, unbroken, about a history for which we are beholden. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you, Valerie. And I love these people. They are 2 very talented, award-winning cowboy poets. So let's get on to the showcase. I think you're going to enjoy it. See you back here next Tuesday.
It's one day more and I'm quick at the door. My work won't keep me away. The years sink the coulees and creek. Around them this day, Lord, I pray. The one that I love, she'll be waiting on me. I will get home when I can. She knows that I love her and she knows I pray. I will ride Smokey today. I will ride Smokey today. Head up the draw and we cross to the top. Proud for the maverick that doubts that Smokey's his man, so he zigs and he zags. Cut off his only way out. The girl of my dreams, she'll be waiting on me. I will get home when I can. She knows that I love her and I know she prays. I will ride Smokey today. And I will ride Smokey today. Beverly. There is a bunch and they're headed around, going to work up the high side. We don't show too much and we don't break too soon. Push them 4 pins all in stride. Girl of my dreams, she'll be waiting on me. I will get home when I can. She knows that I love her and I know she prays. I will ride Smokey today, and I will ride Smokey today. Smokey. Beverly was inspired by a trail ride at Fort Robinson, Nebraska. Anybody ever been to Fort Robinson, Nebraska? It's a great place to ride your horse, and except for the guy in this poem named Doug. So, without further ado, Cyclone in the Pines. We rode together horses from the herd which wintered in the canyon east of Lusk. Started out at noon without a word as velvet shadows lengthened in the dusk. Our jingle bobs rang vespers as we prayed we wouldn't come up short of Boss's mark, but carry out the plans that he had made and get those ponies to the barn 'fore dark. We combed that canyon almost to the top on rocky trails that hugged the mountainside till we beheld a steep and deadly drop where no sane man would ever dare to ride. Well, sanity did not apply to Doug, who's mounted on a dirty, glass-eyed clown. And to a man, we boys agreed that plug, before he killed someone, should be put down. With Doug and Cyclone bringing up the rear, the boss decided we could use a rest. But Cyclone reckoned since the top was near, he'd take his ease when he allowed it best. The next thing that we knew, there came a crash. We turned around in terror and surprise to see a stunt so crazy and so brash, we couldn't quite believe our bugging eyes. That knothead plunged downhill between the trees, with Douglas struggling hard to stay aboard. His imminent demise caused him to freeze, save for his lips, which called upon the Lord. Then Cyclone cut a swath through windfall pines, left limbs and splinters back there in his path. The canyon looked destroyed by bombs and mines, or some explosive force of nature's wrath. The last thing Doug remembers, he's between two ponderosas, thick as any steer. And there he found a sturdy limb, unseen, which hung so low, his brain pan wouldn't clear. Then Cowboy and Caballo parted ways as Cyclone left the crime scene at a run. When we arrived, poor Doug asked us in a daze, "Did any of you fellers bring a gun?" Doug finally recovered from his wreck, his eyes uncrossed, his legs moved like they should. Of course, he couldn't straighten out his neck. And other than the shakes, he's doing good. Recovery gave Doug time to form a plan. So one day, with a grin across his face, he hauled his Cyclone over to Cheyenne to find a buyer in a different place. When Doug returned, we boys was in a fret to see what Cyclone brought, how much Doug made, like, what fool bought him? How much did you get? Doug just allowed he's happy with the trade. He hinted at some Frontier Days event where riding broncs like that bring fame, perchance. Regardless of how Douglas said it went, I think that Cyclone's a la carte in France. Cyclone in the Pines.
My favorite of all the old-time poets, S.O.M. Barker, and I have to tell you, and it is actually a reflection on who I am, but I figure if the guy's initials are S.O.B. and they're proud of it, that's my kind of guy. Yep. I bet you've heard this one before. Pertnier Perkins. They called him Pertnier Perkins because unless that booger lied, he had Pertnier done about anything he had ever tried. He had Pertnier been a preacher. He had Pertnier roped a bear. He had met up with Comanches once, and Pertnier lost his hair. He had Pertnier wed an heiress with money by the keg. He had Pertnier had the measles. He had Pertnier broke a leg. He had Pertnier been trail boss, and according to his claim, he had Pertnier shot Bill Hickok, which had Pertnier won him fame. He had Pertnier rode some broncs upon which no one else had stuck. In fact, you were looking at the cowboy who had Pertnier drowned a duck. Well, for the most part, all them cowboys on the lazy SB spread, they took his bragging with a grin. They let him fight his head, but one named Tom McGinnis, he sort of broke it to him rough. He said, "You are riding with an outfit now where Pertnier ain't enough. We tie our dallies to the horn, and what we catch we hold. And Pertnier, well, that's one alibi I never would unfold. In fact, of all them little words I'm ever like to hear, none sound so dad-blamed useless as that little pair, Pertnier." Well, that's how old Tom McGinnis laid it out there on the line, and like a heap of preaching does, it sounded pretty fine, but one day, old Tom McGinnis was riding out alone when he lamed his horse, and he had to snag some neighbor Nestor's roan to ride back to the ranch on. But then somewhere along the way, he met up against those Nestors, and there was hell to pay. Tom claimed he had not stole that horse, he just borrowed it to ride. But them Nestors said he was a horse thief. They told him that he lied. Them Nestors had caught him with the goods, and now they aimed to hang him in a nearby patch of woods. They had poor Tom surrounded, had their guns all set to shoot, and old Tom McGinnis, Pertnier knowed he had heard his last owl hoot. Well, they strung a neck around his, or a rope around his neck, and they flung it over a limb, and old Tom McGinnis pert near knowed that was the last of him. But suddenly a shot rang out from somewhere on the hill. All them nesters, they dropped their guns and ran, as nesters sometimes will when bullets start to whizzing. Old Tom's heart leapt up with hope to see old Pert Near Perkins coming towards him at a lope. Looks like Pert Near got here in time, old Perkins said, to see them nesters hang you. Well, Tom's face got kind of red. You pert near dead, he pert near grinned. They pert near had me strung, but you were looking at one cowboy who was pert near just been hung, one who's changed his ways, because no words ever said sound quite so good as pert near when a man's been pert near dead. That's Omar Barker, you bet.
During World War II, a top-secret U.S. Army unit fought battles not with bullets, but with stagecraft, using inflatable tanks, phony soundscapes, and fake radio transmissions to fool Nazi soldiers. Its codename? Ghost Army. The 23rd Headquarters Special Troops brought together career Army officers, artists, and audio experts, and from 1944 to 1945, they were united in a unique goal: using the art and science of military deception to mislead the Germans. To trick the Germans, the Ghost Army had a four-part approach. Number 1, visual deception. Inflatable vehicles like tanks could be positioned by just a few people, but they looked suspiciously close to the real thing. Number 2, radio deception. Fake radio traffic mimicked the Morse code sending style of operators in specific Army units, making phony dispatches sound authentic. Number 3, audio deception. Engineers recorded and edited sound effects of Army vehicles and troops on the move to create an illusion of an army where there was none. Number 4, impersonation. Members of the Ghost Army would wear patches or insignias of other Army units to confuse spies in nearby towns or to mislead German soldiers who were observing the Ghost Army from a distance. Deception in warfare isn't new. It's been around for thousands of years. In the 8th century BC, the poet Homer wrote about the Greeks hiding inside a big wooden horse to ambush the Trojans and win the Trojan War. In the 6th century BC, the Chinese general Sun Tzu wrote, "All warfare is based upon deception in the art of war." And during the American Civil War, Confederate generals painted logs to look like cannons when they were short on weapons. The Ghost Army had technology that none of these ancient armies had, but what really made the Ghost Army unique was that they were one of the first military units created for the sole purpose of deception. This turned out to be a strategy that saved thousands of lives and helped the Allies win the war.